The legion stood ready, their breath misting in the dawn air. Fear was a cold companion.
Is the moment before, when breath is held and courage found. As the dawn broke cold and grey, fear gripped the hearts of the young.
They said the glory was worth the sacrifice, but the cold reality of battle often started like this: stomach acid and fear.
When the horns of the shield wall sounded, silence was the only defense. A single breath could betray them all.
He prayed not for victory, but for the strength to face the inevitable.
The legion held its breath, knowing that even a whisper could mean the difference between victory and oblivion in the northern mists.
Through the mist, the shield wall waited, a final defense against the coming dawn.
The cold seeped into their bones, a deeper chill than the morning air. When the signal came,
the scent of iron still lingered in the dust. Ahead lay the village.
across the mist lay the enemy. But first, the boy had to become a soldier, strapped into the legacy of bronze and leather. They waited for the mist to clear, knowing that with the dawn came the inevitable clash of bronze and blood. They were raised to hate the enemy, but in that moment, he saw only a reflection of himself. And he was afraid.
Hardtack, the taste of dust and regret. It kept the legions marching, even when hope had faded.
The mist brings the dawn.
The mist recedes, the dawn breaks, and still they wait.
The dawn brought the hold confirmed. As the mist thins,
They held the line through the night. Now, at the officer's signal, they advance into the dawn. For weeks they waited, and now the sun rises on the day of their reckoning.
in the pale light of dawn, the fate of empires rested on a single breath. The legions advance! Hold the line, men! For the glory of the Empire, move as one! The dawn broke cold and pale, illuminating the field where two titans would clash. They pushed, and we held. The line must not break, for behind us lies Rome.
He thought the gods protected him, but the spear cared little for faith. It plunged deep, seeking the warmth beneath the bronze.
His footing failed him, and the gods turned their eyes away. The might of bronze meant nothing against the cold iron of the spear. The line held firm, but for those who fell, there was only the relentless march of the phalanx.
He was just a boy, thrust into a war he didn't understand. The ranks behind him pushed relentlessly forward.
Discipline and formation are the keys to victory. Lock your shields, brace for impact, and push! They fought not just the enemy, but the earth itself. The mud claimed as many lives as the swords that day. The rattle of bronze cannot mask the final breath. Another life spent for the glory of the Empire. At first light, the shield wall moved. A relentless tide of bronze and iron, crushing everything in its path. The mist had swallowed him whole. He searched among the ranks, but found only unfamiliar faces and cold bronze.
In the heart of the phalanx, pain was a luxury few could afford. He gripped his spear, ignoring the wound, knowing retreat meant death.
The first thrust is always the hardest. It is the moment the boy dies, and the soldier is born.
Against the rising sun, the legions advanced. Every step measured, every breath held, as the bronze tide rolled forward. With a heavy clunk, the bolts secured their fate. Outside, the roar of the shield wall grew closer, but inside, they waited in terrified silence. The weight of the bronze and leather pressed down on them. Every breath was a struggle against the dust, every step a testament to their fading strength.
The rising sun finds them unbroken. They march over the fallen, for the shield wall knows no retreat. The shield wall held firm, advancing inch by agonizing inch through the mire. Discipline was absolute.
Under the pale sun, the Legion pushed forward, their breath growing ragged with every strained advance.
The dust was relentless, clinging to their sweat and blinding their eyes. Yet, they forced themselves on. Even the strongest among them felt the fear. One slip, one moment of weakness, and the line would break. In the chaos of battle, a moment's slip can mean eternity. Yet, he held firm. In the dust of battle, there is no time for grief. Only the relentless advance, the closing of the ranks.
They closed the ranks, obscuring the fallen. In this legion, the dead belong to the earth, and the living belong to Rome.
The Legion moves as one, an unbreakable wall of bronze and wood. Every gap must be filled instantly, for the line cannot falter.
In the chaos of the fray, a single misstep on the slick mud could prove fatal. The enemy wasted no time exploiting the opening.
There was no escape. Only the line remained. And so, despite the wound, he tightened his grip and marched forward into the dust.
The officer signaled to hold the line. For hours they braced, the only sound the groaning wood and their own heavy breath.
For days we stood like statues, waiting for a command that never came. The enemy across the field, mirroring our despair.
In the chaos of the phalanx, a moment's imbalance was all it took for the enemy to find their mark. In the pale light of dawn, another warrior fell. A reminder that victory demanded. The line closed in. A relentless tide of bronze and fury.
He wanted to call out, but the Legion demanded silence. They moved forward as a single, unstoppable force.
In the relentless march of the phalanx, the weaker shed like spent arrows. His grip failed, and with it, his hope.
The Bronze Age armies clashed, yet neither gained ground. The pale morning light illuminated only a bloody deadlock.
The command was simple: hold the line. But against such force, every man knew this ground might be their last.
The roar of the battle outside pressed against the thin walls, but inside, only the silence of...
For hours they had stood motionless, 1,000 men breathing as one. The silence was a burden heavier than their armor.
The morning, the sun illuminated a critical weak. The flank was beginning to buckle.
The order was given to advance, but every soldier knew the danger of leaving the shield wall exposed.
Go!
As the midday sun beat down, the forward group found themselves alone. The enemy spears emerged from the dust, cutting off any retreat. The shield wall shattered. Spears. There was no stopping the rout now.
They realized the breach too late. The enemy poured through the gap, sealing the fate of the formation.
In the chaos of battle, the lines blurred. There was no longer a front or a back, only the desperate struggle for survival as the enemy enveloped them.
The line had broken. All discipline was lost as the men fought for their lives in the swirling dust and thick mud.
With the flanks exposed and the center collapsing, the disciplined ranks dissolved into a desperate, bloody melee. There would be no retreat today. Hold the line! The center could not hold. Despite his efforts, the Legion was breaking.
In the chaos of midday, order collapsed. There was only the instinct to survive, a primal struggle for every breath.
This was the aftermath. A field of valor transformed into a monument of dust and blood.
The roar of battle drowned out all hope. He searched for an opening, a path to safety, but found only the relentless advance of the enemy. In the chaos of the high noon sun, visibility was low and the fighting was random. Survival depended on instinct and the strength of the shield arm. The sun beat down, turning the sand to fire. They fought not for glory, but for the next breath, each man utterly alone in the chaos.
Under the unforgiving sun, they found their glory in the dust. Every step forward was built upon the fallen.
In the heart of the fray, surrounded by dust and death, he knew there was no escape.
High noon. And still the battle rages, not with swords, but in the minds of the survivors. This